We are now down to our final two players, and one will win the largest cash prize ever awarded on the APPT. So let's get the cards back in the air.
Thank you, Erin. The grand final of the APPT marks a record-setting tournament, and now it all comes down to this.
There you see Jeremiah Vincent. He says he's played millions of hands online. We'll see how that translates here.
And on the right there, Brett Parise, the winner of the first APPT event ever, here to cheer on Vincent. And there is another champion, APPT Macau High Roller champ Eric Asadurian, part of Grant Levy's cheering section.
You see Levy there, the most aggressive player throughout the final table, and he is the chip leader at the start of Heads Up.
Blinds at 60 and 120,000. Grant Levy with King 8 offsuit.
He elects to just call on the button. It's going to be over to Vincent, who's got Deuce 8 of hearts. Not a great hand, but he's already in with the big blind being posted pre-flop.
And he will check, so we will go to the flop. Our first flop, Heads Up. And it is a King, Jack, Jack, 2 hearts.
That gives Levy the best hand with kings, but of course Vincent has 4 hearts to a flush.
And he will lead into the pot for 150,000.
Betting on the come, as they say, betting with the draw, hoping to win the pot on a semi-bluff.
Cool.
And Grant Levy makes the call, so we will go to the turn.
Well, Levy here not wanting to get too crazy yet. He does have top pair. Maybe slightly worried that Vincent has 3 jacks.
The turn, a 5 of hearts.
Well, as you can see there, Vincent now making his flush, so Levy's 2 pair kings and jacks are behind, well behind. Just 9% chance to improve. It looks like, once again, Vincent is going to count out some more chips.
And he does make it 400,000.
Well, at this point, I think he'd be happy to pick up the pot. But it looks like Grant Levy, with his kings and jacks, feels like, you know what, this guy's bluffing.
And he announces raise.
You can see there the intense focus from Vincent staring over at Levy to try to figure out what this means.
And he makes it 1 million.
So it was a bet of 400,000 from Vincent, a raise of 600,000 more from Levy, and a re-raise.
And he moves all in over the top of Levy.
Not just a re-raise all in. This is really going to put the pressure back on Levy with the king, and he shows it.
And folds, so Jeremiah Vincent wins round 1 at Heads Up.
A little bit lucky there to catch the flush, but can't say he played the hand poorly. He made the right decision to take a shot at it, and then hit the heart when he needed to. You see Brett Parise there looking on. He knows a thing or two about what it takes to win a championship.
And with that pot, Jeremiah Vincent takes a slight lead, just over 6 million in chips, but Grant Levy is not too far behind with just under 4.5.
Well, clearly lots of poker yet to be played amongst these two. Very impressed, frankly, with the way both of them played to get here.
And Grant Levy picks up 7-8 offsuit.
Cool.
And will call.
Once again, deciding to just see some flops by calling rather than raising.
And Jeremiah Vincent with 5-3 offsuit will check.
So you see, both hands not very strong, but when you're heads up, you've got to play more hands.
And the flop is a 9-6-4 flop.
Well, this flop could be a fireworks flop, as Levy has 7-8, so he's got the straight draw, but also Vincent has a smaller straight draw. So both of them drawing to different cards to make their straight. It'll depend how they play this hand now to see what happens.
And Jeremiah Vincent checks.
55.
And Grant Levy bets 255,000.
Well, he's deciding to bet on his draw, hoping to pick up the pot right now, representing that he has a pair or something along those lines. Really hoping Vincent just throws it away now.
800.
Ooh.
And Jeremiah Vincent makes it 800,000.
So a gutsy move here from Vincent, trying to push right back. He's got his straight draw and decides, you know what? Bang.
545.
More. 800,000.
Make the call.
And Grant Levy will call, so the pot at just under 1.9 million.
Huge pot right now. Whoever wins this one is going to get the momentum for sure. If the straight card comes off in the turn, we could see an all-in situation.
And the turn, a jack of diamonds.
Well, that card doesn't make either player their straight. Vincent took the lead on the flop by check raising, but will he continue to bet? Or will he wave the white flag and check? Levy Giving him the stare down there.
Vincent checks.
And check this out.
1 million.
Looks like Levy wants to bluff it.
He says 1 million and puts that much into the pot.
This is an excellent read here by Levy. We know he's an aggressive player. We know he likes to push and to make some bluffs. Right here, he's got a draw. He could have said, you know what, I'll just check and take a free card. But instead, he says, Vincent, you don't got nothing. I can read you. And he's decided to make the bet to take the pot right here.
The pot nearly 3 million now. Action back on Jeremiah Vincent. And he lets it go.
Well, Vincent decides to fold there, thinking to himself, I do have a draw. The bet's too big. Got to lay it down. I think it's the right decision, but clearly momentum on Levy's side right now.
And that is 1 pot for Jeremiah and 1 for Grant, as we are getting ever closer to crowning an APPT Grand Final champion. Blinds are up now, 80 and 160,000. Grant Levy with 7-8 of spades.
And he's just calling before the flop. We haven't seen a lot of raising before the flop so far in this heads-up match.
Jeremiah Vincent picks up pocket jacks.
Well, that's going to change in a hurry. Finally, a big pair for Vincent, and he decides he's going to raise it up here.
And Vincent raises to 450,000.
So Levy is on the button. He has position. He'll act last after the flop. So based on that, I think he's going to call. Also, he's got a fun hand. 7-8 of spades. He could hit a lot of flops.
He does call. Here's the flop. A king 10-4 flop.
Well, that's a flop that Levy doesn't hit any of. Vincent way in front with his pocket jacks. Reaching for chips here.
Vincent bets 500,000.
And look at this, a quick call from Levy. The only reason I can think of that he would call here, I mean, he's got nothing, is that he plans on another big bluff.
The turn, a 9 of hearts.
Well, this gives Levy a little bit of help. He's got an open-end straight draw now. Vincent, also a straight draw, and the best hand with a pair of jacks. He's checking.
And Vincent checks.
And, of course, Levy's going to follow through. He
1.5.
called on the flop. His only intention was to bluff at the turn here.
1.5 million is the bet from Grant Levy.
You can see Vincent looking over at Levy, trying to get a read.
I'm all in.
Wow, and Jeremiah Vincent re-raises Grant Levy all in.
An excellent read. He must have picked something up there in the body language of Levy. Levy must have given something away, because with 2 jacks, that's a risky play. Now, Levy, the question is, he's got the straight draw. Will he call this bet?
Jeremiah Vincent all in for his tournament life here.
Risking it with jacks despite the fact there's a king on board.
Free card.
And Levy bemoaning the fact that he could have checked and taken a free card.
And Levy folds, and Jeremiah Vincent wins a huge pot.
Well, Levy not happy with himself based on the way he played that hand, feeling like, man, I picked up a draw. I probably should have checked. I don't know if he should have even called the flop bet. It was a little bit risky. But hey, he's a bluffer. That's his style. In the meantime, Vincent
Should have taken a free card.
picking up some very well-earned chips there with jacks.
Club draw. Up and down.
Vincent trying to plod for some information.
And the crowd support continues. Brett Parise toasts his friend Jeremiah's win there, while Grant's wife Sharon does not seem too worried about Grant losing that pot.
Got it covered, Grant.
You've got him covered. He's nothing. Take him down. I don't know about that. Vincent has played marvelously.
Action on Grant Levy with King Jack
Raise.
offsuit and